is Amanda Kaufman, and this is Making It Happen. This week, I'm talking about maximizers and satisficers. Gretchen Rubin, in her book, The Happiness Project, talks about maximizers and satisficers, and I think she even talks about it a little bit more in her books on habits and all the other books. I really enjoyed Gretchen Rubin, but it has admittedly been a little while. Anyway, she was talking about the tendency of people to make maximizing decisions or satisficing decisions. I thought this was kind of an interesting concept because before this term, I really didn't understand why my husband and I would get into it every time we went to go and do a large purchase until I got this language and I realized, oh my gosh, he's a maximizer and I'm a satisficer. So what's the difference between the two? Well, maximizing, according to Gretchen, is when someone is looking for the best option, the best. They will look at every option to select the best that is possibly available to them. So they may be very patient. They may be very rigorous in what they're looking to do. A satisficer is usually someone who will set a requirement, and these can be very high requirements, very high standard requirements. It doesn't mean that they've got less of a standard, although my husband would love to have you believe that. That's not true. But what a satisficer does is they set the requirements for what it is that they're trying to accomplish or do. And then once the requirements are met, then they stop looking. And so you can imagine when you're shopping around for something big, and when we first encountered and experimented with this was for finding babysitters for our children. We decided it was really important that we have a date night, but we had children on Friday night, so we weren't able to take that time together. We recognized a need that we needed to have that childcare in place. But he was a maximizer, and he wanted to interview every possible childcare candidate that there was. And I was a satisficer, so I was more of the opinion like, hey, let's just find someone who meets all of these minimum requirements and then stop looking. So what do you do when you're trying to come up with a joint decision and you've got someone who's a maximizer and someone who's a satisficer? Well, enter my procurement background. We practiced what is commonly referred to as 3 bids and a buy. So what that did was it meant that my husband had options, 3 options before we purchased, and that I, the satisficer, needed to look at least 2 more viable options than just the one, right? So it's forcing me to give a bit, forcing him to give a bit, and in so doing, we actually came to some very awesome caregiving relationships that have served us for years and years. So, satisficing and maximizing. I have thought about this some more, and I realized, you know what? There's actually some areas of my life that I'm more of a maximizer, and other areas where I tend to be more of a satisficer. So think about it in your own life. Where are you looking for the perfect thing or the absolute best of the best of the best things, where maybe you might take more of a satisficing approach so that you can get it done and move on? And where are you satisficing in your life that maybe you could consider either elevating your standards or bringing some additional options in to get an even better outcome for yourself? Satisficing, maximizing. So I hope that this served you this fine Monday afternoon. And if you happen to be watching this later in the week, no judgment. And if you find these to be useful, I really hope that you'll subscribe. You can subscribe to my list by going to amandakaufman.net, and there will be a pop-up. There's also some links there that you can sign up for the newsletter to get these super helpful videos sent to you every week so that you can be making it happen. And you can also subscribe on YouTube if that's your jam. Go for it. And of course, this is publicly available video blogging awesomeness that I encourage you to share with your friends. So make it happen, satisfice, maximize, whatever. Make a decision, move on. Do the research where you need to, move on. Take that action, move it forward, and make it happen today. Take care.